Hello everyone, it's indeed inspiring to see you back again, and we are here in this business analyst series. We are going to help you with step-by-step journey to learn and develop your skills as a business analyst. Here you will learn a lot about how to interact with client, how to capture the user stories, how to document them and produce BRDs and SRS, how you can do the data modeling part, UML modeling, software methodologies, agile, scrum and DevOps, so many and so much things to learn. So I insist you to go through this particular series and get an advantage on business analyst. There are certain activities which are involved in business analysis. First one starts with gathering requirements. Second one is analyzing the data. Okay, so we started with that, gathering requirement. Second one is analyzing the data. So I would talk a bit about data here because this is one of the primary thing we need to understand. One of the primary thing we need to understand if we are not good in understanding of data sources, then basically further it will be very difficult. So it is something like if you want to climb 10 steps of a stairs, you'll have to start from the first one. You cannot directly jump on the 10th one. So therefore we need to understand this particular part. So if you see that, let's say I have a bottle over here. So have a look at this particular bottle. Okay. So as a human being, we are able to see this bottle as a bottle, right? This is a bottle. Everybody would agree. But because we are going to use technology, because we are going to use some tools for taking up the business requirement, we are not going to basically use a notepad and keep on writing. That may be an intermediate activity, but we have gadgets and all. So how a simple computer or how a mobile sees this bottle? Okay. How does it see? Is it a bottle for computer also, a laptop? The answer is yes or no. The answer is no, it's not a bottle. This particular bottle is also a piece of data for my machine and for your machine also. So how can we see things as data? See in the sense, understand things as data. Okay, so something very interesting I'll tell you. Let's go back to the Excel again. So here, yes. So let's say I have a letter T. Okay, so let's say I have a letter which is T. So computer understands everything in the form of data, and that data is also in the form of numerics, numbers. And if you, I must understand that you all must be knowing that computer actually understands binaries. Okay, 0, 1, 0, 1. So it is difficult for us to basically tell anything to computer in binaries. But let me make an analogy so that you can understand, because whatever data you will collect, that data will be either in subjective format, and a lot of data you will collect which will be in the form of some categorical values, some nominal values would be there, some ordinal values would be there. So we will see all that. Okay, so here if you see that if I represent 0 as black and 1 as white. Okay, so I have two things, 0 as black and if you see 1 as white. This is how I'm basically writing 0 as black and 1 as white. Now I want my PC, my computer, to represent a letter T, and I give this much of area. This is, I'm giving it to it. This area I have given. So this area is currently white. So we will have how computer sees everything. I'm telling you that. So computer is going to see everything as 1. Okay, so everything is going to be 1. Yes, this way. And from here. So this is how computer is going to see that everything is 1 over here. Okay, everything is 1. Fine. Now let us move ahead, and I want to represent T over here, T. So how can I represent T? I can put 0 in all those places So let me make it black only. Okay. And the text color should be white. Okay. And this should be white. Just wait. Okay. So if I want, so I need to put this 0 into multiple places. So I'm putting that 0 into multiple places. So here you can see, this is how I'll put the zeros. And then I will put the zeros like this. Okay. And probably what I can do is I can put zeros here also. And I can put zeros here also. This is how I can put. Okay. So color I have given, because we are humans, we understand better in terms of, okay, but computer understands only numbers. So did you understand the analogy that computer basically is reading, okay, 0, 0, 0, 0, this is a kind of zero shape and it's a T. Okay, and it is going to give us an output as black color wherever 0 is there and white color wherever 1 is there. So this is how computer sees the data. Okay, computer sees like this. And if this would have been a colorful image, then computer would have created layers, like this is one layer. Okay, then we would have second layer, we would have third layer. Okay, if you see a printer has got inks, red ink, green ink, yellow ink. So they create layers, basically printers also. Okay, fine. So this is an interesting thing, that whatever we see around is nothing but data. If we see from the eyes of a computer, everything we see around is just data. Okay. So I hope this much is understood. So whenever we are basically looking at the business requirement, we need to see that what are the different data points from where the data can be gathered and collected. This is an important area which we need to understand related to data, apart from the subjective requirements. So analyzing the data we were talking about. So when we are able to gather the data, so we can get the data in this particular format, which is very well formatted. We can get the data in the form of sometimes images and all, which is very difficult for a computer to understand. Like as a human being, we are easy with the images and videos and all, but to a computer and PC, it is difficult. And when we have large amount of data, then as a human being, it becomes difficult for us to go through so much of documentation. Then we again take help of some software or tool so that it can quickly process that data for us and can give us a feedback about it. Okay, so this is something which is called as unstructured. So I'll write here images and all unstructured data. So unstructured data can be there, and there could be some semi-structured data also. Semi-structured. I'll show you that what kind of data can be semi-structured. So let's say I'll show you some XML data, because many a times we get information carried in this XML format. So here, if you see that images, yeah. So if you see that this is also data, and let me show one example, and this one would be easy. So here, like it is student details at the beginning, student details at the end also. Open a new tab. Okay, yeah. So here, so student details at the beginning, and again student details at the end. So 2 times student details is being written. Okay. So here and at the end also. Then under that we have student and student here, again student and student here, again student and student here. Okay, so which means that this is one student details, this is second student details, and this must be third student details. Under student we have ID, name, class. Here also we have ID, name, class. Here also ID, name, class. So basically, this is telling us that this data is student details data, and it has got student ID, student name, student class. Okay, similar way, there is another student, it's that student's ID, student name, and student class. That is what we are able to see here, right? This is called as semi-structured. Like it is not properly organized also, but we are able to see that it is having some pattern, like it is repeating ID, name, class, ID, name, class. It is repeating that particular pattern. So we call it as semi-structured. Okay. and images and videos where basically structures are not identified, so they are called as unstructured. So these are different types of data which we have, and we actually need to do analysis of this data as well as other subjective information which we receive. The next part is modeling and documentation. Modeling and documentation. So once we had discussions, some rough notes are there, and we are trying to analyze the data also. Now we actually need to produce, a business analyst actually needs to produce a document. So normally we call them as BRDs, business requirement documents. And they are more in the language of client, which client can understand. Okay, they're more in that particular language. And again, there has to be one more document, which is a technical document, or you can say software requirement specification or product requirement specification or functional requirement specification. So another document is there where we actually write in technical way, which is meant for the development team. So this is what an analyst person needs to do. Firstly, the requirements with the client has to be discussed, and a document which client can understand. And again, the same document, but in the technical language, which has got the requirement specifications, functional requirements, and that document is meant for the team. Modeling is basically a way, which is a standard way. If you are creating a document and you are sharing it with somebody anywhere across the globe, they should be able to understand what requirement have you shared with them. So modeling is that standard way of explanation. It involves some charts and diagrams also. So modeling and documentation is the next part. Now, next thing is evaluating solutions, and how. So as of now, I'll summarize it with these points, and then we will take it further in the next session. So evaluating solution. Now, as a business analyst, you need to conduct team meetings. Meetings and communication is very much important. There you need to basically discuss with technical team and try to understand that, yes, what is the feasibility. Let's say you are able to see two possibilities of implementing the solution. You need to discuss with them. You need to see that which is more feasible. Whenever we are working on any project, then we have constraints. We have time constraints. We have resource constraints. We have budget constraints. And with all the constraints, ultimately you have to produce a quality product, right? So constraints are there, but ultimately you have to come up with a quality product at the end of the project cycle. So evaluating the solutions, so understand all the constraints by having a meeting and try to find out what is the best optimal way of implementing the solution, which will be the quality and optimal solution. Collaborating with the stakeholders, as I said, conducting the meetings. So meetings could be separate, meetings could be sometimes together, where you will be the mediator with the client and the other team members, facilitating communication and supporting the implementation. So this is what is some of the activities which are involved in business analysis. If you like this video, please do share it with your friends and those who need it. And don't forget to press the bell icon and also subscribe to our channel so that you can get all the videos, notifications readily in your account.